In a democracy, the government is periodically elected by the people in a free and fair manner. However, a government fails to be a democracy if the people don't enjoy any rights. Therefore, in this chapter, we will focus on the significance of rights, the exact meaning of rights, the fundamental rights of every Indian citizen, and how the citizens can use these rights. Let's start with the case study of the prisoners in the Guantanamo Bay, an island near Cuba. The island is under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Naval Forces. After the 9/11 attack on New York, the U.S. Defense Forces picked up about 600 people from all over the world and secretly held them captive at a prison in the Guantanamo Bay. The U.S. government claimed that these people were enemies of the country and were directly or indirectly responsible for the 9/11 attack. However, in most cases, the U.S. government did not even inform or ask the government of the countries these prisoners belonged to. The families of many prisoners came to know about their captivity from the media, like the family of El-Bana. El-Bana's 9-year-old daughter, Anas, on coming to know about her father's captivity, wrote a letter to the then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Tony Blair, requesting his release. These prisoners were held captive without any judicial intervention. An international human rights organization called Amnesty International managed to gather some information about these prisoners and reported that they were being tortured, which was against both the U.S. laws as well as international treaties. Prisoners protested through hunger strikes. The UN then set up an inquiry committee and found that many prisoners were not being released in spite of being proved innocent. The UN Secretary General ordered the sealing of the prison. However, the US government paid no heed to these appeals and protests. However, recently, President Barack Obama has promised to put a stop to this inhuman act as soon as possible. Another prominent example of people leading a life without rights is the citizens of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is ruled by a monarch. The people of the country cannot form any political parties or initiate any political campaigns against the ruler. The media is also a puppet in the hands of the ruler. The people of the country are Muslims. People of other religions living in the country are allowed to follow their religion in private, but not in public. Women in the country don't enjoy the same status as men. A testimony of one man is considered equivalent to that of 2 women. Such stories are not limited to monarchies alone. The ethnic massacre in Kosovo, a province of Yugoslavia before its split, is a story of similar injustice in a country where people elected their own representatives. Kosovo was ethnically an Albanian province. However, most of the people in the country were Serbs. In the 1999 elections, Milosevic, a Serb nationalist, won the elections and came to power. His motto was to make Yugoslavia a country dominated by the Serbs. He wanted that other ethnic minorities, such as the Albanians, should either leave the country or bow down before the Serbs. Therefore, he became hostile to the Albanians and started killing them. Batisha and her husband Izzet were sitting in the kitchen when they heard the sound of explosions. Before they could realize it, soldiers of the Serbian troops barged into their kitchen. They shot her husband in the chest, pushed her out of the house, snatched her wedding ring, and put her house on fire. Batisha was stranded in the rain without her family, her house, and her husband. The Serbian troops continued this massacre under the leadership of Milosevic until other countries in the world intervened. Milosevic was tried in the International Court of Justice for his inhuman acts. Human beings crave for a secure, dignified, and fair arrangement.